Hi, welcome to my presentation on how to incorporate visual conventions into your classroom. So for this lesson or sequence of lessons, I'm focusing on the Year 3-4 Visual Arts curriculum descriptors, whilst also incorporating cross-curricular priorities such as intercultural understanding. Other integration of subjects include literacy and HASS that will be touched on throughout. We're going to follow the I-STAR pedagogical framework throughout these lesson sequences. The main content descriptors that we are focusing on is for students to explore ideas and artworks from different cultures and different times, including artworks by Indigenous and Torres Strait Islanders. So because of this, I have chosen Sally Morgan as the artist. She is an Indigenous author and artist, and I'm focusing on her painting Greetings from Rottnest that she painted in 1988. It's a polymer paint on canvas. This painting I feel is a really strong tool to have in the classroom. It touches on many different aspects of our history and involves also ethical understanding. So to begin the lesson, we have I, which is inspire in I-STAR. And so to inspire, we need a hook. And I'm just going to base it around some questions, and I'm just going to get a class discussion going first. So just basically, who's been to Rottnest? Show of hands. And because we're in Perth, Rottnest is basically in our backyard, so it's quite close to home for the children, and they can be passionate about it and get excited about talking about where they've been, what they've done there. And then follow up with that, who knows anything about the history of the island, and see if anyone does. If they don't, we're going to bring up the image of Greetings from Rottnest by Sally Morgan. And we're going to deconstruct and analyse the painting together with the teacher. This is the share point. So we're going to share the image, the S in I-STAR, and explain the visual conventions used. So the use of line is very big in Sally Morgan's image because it's the real division between history, the oppressed history of Indigenous people on Rottnest, and then just the oblivious people that go there all the time and have no idea about it, and they're literally standing on a mass grave, basically. So we can explain this to the children, and show the two colour schemes used, the line, the conventions of line, colour, tonal, shape, and in relation to the repetition of certain of the Indigenous bodies in the fetal position. And we'll just really dive into how all these conventions work together to create that response and feeling from the painting's viewers. Once we've shared that, we're then going to break off into pairs or smaller groups. For the T, students are going to try. They're going to try and use line in their own way. In small groups, come up with an idea, work around, use line, colour, tones, repetition of shapes, all these kind of things to get an idea across. It can be based off the Sally Morgan image, and they can try and use their own idea and understanding of that, or it can be of something similar or related to that. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. We'll then regroup as a class, go around ideas, discussing again, showing, look, they've used line very well, they've used the colour scheme very well, and congratulate students where they've got understanding, but also walk around and see, oh, I love how you've done this, let's try and incorporate more of this into it. And then to the A in to A is action. Once we've been through it and we all have a solid understanding, it will be an individual task for students to go out and create their own image using all these conventions. This can be done over a whole lesson so students don't feel rushed and pressured to finish. Once there is a final product, it is also a lot about the process, not just the product. We will sit down as a class, artwork will be displayed, but students will individually explain their artwork and why they chose the conventions they did to illustrate and communicate their feelings and ideas through the techniques that they used. Thank you, I hope this was helpful.